joins us from Matoshri. We have Ankit Tyagi joining us. We also have Anuj Raite joining us. To you, Ankit, what do you read into this 52% voter turnout? It's slightly less than what happened in 2017. No record-breaking numbers here, but clearly, what is the larger message and how our party is looking at this?
It will be very, very interesting with what happens now with these numbers, in fact, because till yesterday, the hope was, or at least even the psephologists, we spoke to Mr. Gupta as well, that higher the percentage, the margin for the Mahajuti they were expecting is going to go up. And lower the numbers, it could have some hope hidden there for the Thackerays. But 52%, 52.9% is just about 2% less than, 2.5% less than what happened in 2017. I think the other significant subtext to it would be the men and women vote. Last time the women voted 2.5% more than the men. At least at 1:30 p.m., 3:30 p.m. yesterday, the estimate was that the women are voting less. If you combine all those, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting trend once it starts consolidating. What we have been told is that this time the counting is going to be quite unique. It has started at 10 o'clock. They are only going to count 46 wards in one go. So 46 wards will be counted and cleared in one go. Then after those 46 are cleared, the next set of 46 wards will be cleared. So it is going to be a very, very interesting trend to see how these things change as far as these elections are concerned.
Process, they are going to be extremely thorough this time. They are treading with caution. जिसको कहते हैं ना कि दूध का जला छाछ भी फूक-फूक के पीता है. This time, that's what the election commission is doing. We are not going to be drawn into any controversy. Interesting breakup, and I want to bring Anuj in on that. The highest voter turnout in Mumbai was recorded in ward number 114. 64.53% of votes were cast over there. This 114 is the Vikhroli Bhandup area. Very active voters. It obviously signals that there could be a very closely contested election. 64.53, which is higher than the average for BMC, and no big surprises there that the lowest is in South Mumbai, which is ward number 227, a mere 20.88%. That's shameful. South Mumbai, very vocal citizens, unfortunately. They don't speak at the EVM. They go away for a long weekend, somewhere in the suburbs. But how do you decode this? 64.53% in Vikhroli Bhandup. Who is strong in this area? What are the other areas that you've seen very active voting? Anuj.
As far as Mumbai suburbs are concerned, be it in the northern parts or especially the Marathi suburbs and the ones that you mentioned as well, these are the Thackerays strongholds. In fact, these were the places for which Uddhav Thackeray's UBT and Raj Thackeray's MNS were fighting neck to neck in the seat sharing negotiation. And finally, one of the parties was left unsatisfied with what the decision was. So we are seeing that the places where the Thackere domination of the Marathi population is slightly higher, there the turnout has been more than the average, which seems that the Marathi pitch that was put forth by the Thackere brothers, especially by Raj Thackere, has surely worked in places like in places like these. But what is going to be a key, or what is the major highlight of this entire turnout, especially comparing it to the 2017 number, is the difference of the women and men voters. Because if you do a very deep dive analysis of the manifestos and the promises made by both of these alliances, we can see that both of these alliances, going consistent with what were the manifestos and promises made earlier, tried to promise big to the women community.
Trends show a neck and neck fight. That's what we are seeing right now. Sorry to interrupt you, Anuj, but we want to give the breaking news quickly to our viewers. Right now, you see a neck and neck fight in the BMC of the 30 trends that we have. Mahayuti is ahead, Saurabh, in 15. The Agadi, or rather the Thackerays together, are ahead in 12, and others are at 3. Others also significant in the...
Bhandup and Vikhroli have seen a large voter turnout, and these are also seen as bastions of the Thackere brothers, right?
So mobilization of the core Marathi vote of the Thackeраys, of the Shiv Sena and MNS has been done, at least when it comes to this voter turnout. So the key areas, the old Marathi vote, Saurabh, at least that has been mobilized successfully by the Thackerays. Let's see how that is borne out in the results. What do you make of this and the early trend, Saurabh?
Well, Bhandup is, of course, Sanjay Raut's home also. Let's not forget that. And this is something that, of course, the Thackerays would be looking at with some...
You know, maybe the voters, they were a little scared also, considering the number of times he said, "Khok denge, utha lenge." The voters were like, before Sanjay Raut gets upset, let's quickly go and cast our vote. Yes, continue, Saurabh.
Yes, so the Thackerays would be happy with that part of the result, that, you know, there is a high turnout there, which means their mobilization on the ground has had the desired effect, that voters have come out and voted. Again, consolidation of the Marathi vote plus the Muslim vote, if the Thackerays can pull that off, then they can look at a good showing. If that does not happen, that is where the problem begins, because a fractured voting pattern is the advantage BJP Shinde. It is only when the blocks come together, the Marathi, the Muslim vote, that is when the Thackerays are actually on a strong ground, and that is the pattern that we have to look out for as these results come in. If that happens, they'd be happy with the results. And like I said, many have said this is about the political relevance of the Thackerays. Electorally, yes, it's important, but the political relevance of the Thackerays is something that we asked Sanjay Raut also in our NDTV Power Play conclave. He said results don't matter. The Shiv Sena has lost many elections, but the Thackerays have remained relevant. But having said that, this is going to be a very, very important election, and don't go by the scenes outside Matoshri now. It has always been a trend that people don't turn up early in the morning on counting day. It happens much later in the day.
But sort of, this election is also in some way a reference on the Marathi psyche and how that has really changed. Ankit, Dahisar is one of those areas where we saw BJP Eknath Shinde fight, and the Ganesh Naik factor has been so fascinating. What is it that you picked up while you were in Mumbai?
We'll go to Paras for Dahisar. He's in fact standing by to give us an update from there. But very quickly, two very important things, like Saurabh was saying, don't go by what is happening at at Matoshri at this moment. Thackerays are not known to be early risers. You will not see them appearing, no matter what the result is and which way it goes, before the afternoon. So that's not going to happen. And the other important factor, yes, the Mamoom factor may not have worked together, but I think the hope is that if the Congress does well in those areas, the Thackerays will be looking at something about 75, 80 plus. If they are able to get that, then they are in play, because whatever the Shiv Sena, Sharad Pawar gets, whatever the Congress and the Vanchit Aghadi gets, all that is going to come together. But the game would only come into play for them if they are able to get 75 to 80 of the 140 Marathi dominated seats. Only then there is hope, or at least some play as far as the Thackerays are concerned. But Paras, very quickly coming to you for Dahisar, as Vasudha was saying, some very interesting games and play there as well, political ploys. What's happening there? What is the trends which are coming in?
So Ankit, Dahisar, Borivali and this western suburb is very important as per the political situation is considered in the western suburb of Mumbai, because this seat is being dominated by the Gujaratis from most of the voters over here are Gujaratis, and the situation over here right now, the early trend shows as the BJP is going to win, but this is the early thing. We are not claiming anything, but still there are many important things which will come after we will see how voting is going, how vote counting is going on. We are at the center, one of the biggest center where vote counting is being started. We have to see what will happen, but we are not claiming anything, but the early things says that BJP is far ahead in Dahisar.
Thank you, Paras Daman. Let's go across to Sujata, who joins us from Malad. Sujata, there were many constituencies in Mumbai where we saw the Sena versus BJP, haggling for more seats, and the fact that Eknath Shinde also got 90 seats to fight for his party showed that he's a tough negotiator. When it comes to Malad, it's a mix of Marathi votes and also a little bit of migrants. What is the kind of mahal that you...
Actually, that is an area which is stronger for the BJP. These These are areas where the so-called Parprantis are settled in large numbers, and that is where the BJP gets most of its strength from. So three, rough areas. You've got the central Bombay area, which is where, of course, you have the Sena Bhavan. That is the old Marathi voter, which is where you have the Shiv Sena getting their strength from. Then you've got the two suburbs where the Congress and the BJP get most of their voters from. Yes, Sujata, go on.
Well, yes, and the counting center where I'm present, this is the Malvani region of Malad, which is a stronghold of the Congress. There are a total of 6 wards which counting is currently going on and it is underway. The first early trends are likely to be announced very soon. Now, talking about these 6 important wards, they are a microcosm of the current politics surrounding Mumbai, because talking about the Malad, Malvani, Mud and Marve region, this is the stronghold of the Congress, but this time it is also a direct fight of the Congress with the Samajwadi Party and the MIM, because of which the Congress vote bank is likely to be shattered between these 3 political parties. And if we talk about the other 3 wards concerning that of the Kandivali, the Dhanukarwadi region, we're expecting this to be a direct fight between the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Maharashtra Navnirman Sena. Now, the Hindutva narrative that has been developed in a way of its own by both of these political parties, we're expecting that the migrants as well as the North Indian population which live in these regions, they are great in numbers. But also one important factor to be noted is that these areas, they also have a strong share of the Koliwadas, of the fishermen community, which are going to be decisive factor in determining who really the real Shiv Sena is concerning this particular area of Marve. Now, Marve being the coastal region, the Koliwada community is densely populated, because of which they are going to, who do they vote for? Who do they think is the real Sena?
The Koliwadas, I remember MNS Raj Thackeray protesting for them, for their rights and welfare. Sudhir Suryavanshi is here with us. He's an author, senior editor, New Indian Express. We also have
Ali Daruwala, spokesperson of the BJP is with us. Anish Gawande from the NCP, Sharad Pawar, as well as Mayur Parikh, a political commentator, all joining us. Thanks very much to all of our colleagues who are joining us live right at the top. We'll keep coming back to you, of course, as and when the updates come in. And I want to start with, Mayur Parikh, because the trends that we see so far pretty much going according to pattern, where you had the greater Mumbai, the Mahim to Kolaba area. There you see the UBT ahead in its traditional strongholds. And in the central suburbs, Bhandup, Mulund, Ghatkopar, this is where Eknath Shinde is giving it his all. And then, of course, we're talking about the western suburbs where the BJP voter has been mobilized. Do you see everything pretty much following that trend so far, the results that we have? Mayur Parikh.
Well, I think it's very too early to comment on this, because first they will be counting the postal ballots. It is voted in large numbers because there are so many BMC employees, more than 40,000 employees who have casted their vote through postal ballot. Furthermore, this time the counting pattern is changed. It's not like each and every counting center is simultaneously doing counting of all 227 wards. Instead, now there are 10 ROs who are being given with the responsibility of 10 centers or some odd numbers, and they will be counting 2 wards at any given point of time. And once the counting of 2 wards are over and the result is out, after that they will be continuing with the 3rd round or the 3rd ward. So the counting is going to take place. It is going to continue till evening 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. So I presume that this is a very early trend where we can see a very neck-to-neck fight. But as I can predict, MVA, Mahavikas Aghadi, will getting good number of seats in the central Mumbai and somewhere in eastern part. But BJP is all set to get good number of seats in North Mumbai as well as Eastern Mumbai.
You, sir, when you look at the map of Mumbai and the fact that migrants today come, it's more of an interstate migration that's happening. Intrastate migration that used to happen during the time of mills is not something that Mumbai witnesses anymore. How politically potent is the Marathi vote in the changed landscape of Mumbai, and do you think that will reflect in today's results?
Certainly, yes. The Marathi votes is something which we have earlier also said that around 131 seats are directly decided by Marathi Manus. But the population of Marathi speaking or a Marathi Manus is spread across 227 wards. In that case, the small margin here and there can spoil the whole game. And this is the reason why everybody is worried about Marathi Manus and
Right. Sudhir Suryavanshi, the potency of the Marathi vote, do you think that it's relevant even today? And look at the, UBT numbers. I know that it's too early. It means that the sentiment seems to have worked to some extent, isn't it?
They absolutely, even the Marathi, percentage is on decline in Mumbai. There are many reasons for it. But as we said, yesterday also, day before yesterday also, they have got, charged up with the Raj Thackerays rally, and there was also fear among them if they loses power in Mumbai. So who will be there for them to support? Like Shiv Sena was always there for them. So there is a galvanization, there is a reverse polarization among the Marathi voters, and particularly in Marathi dominated areas like Bhandup and Kanjurmarg, we spoke, number 140, where highest 58% voting has been reported in this area. And I got a report that in Dadar, Mahim, Worli, Lalbagh, Shivdi, in this area also large number of voting has been happened. So Shiv Sena, therefore Shiv Sena and the MNS will have a good number, decent number of the corporator. But it will be interesting to say that, like Mayura said, like Boruli, Dahisar, Bandra, other area where they perform well, then they will add up good number. If they don't perform, because there the Marathi...
That we must always remember, that you cannot write off the Thackerays entirely. Yes. However, there is a difference from what we had seen in 2017. That's a very different Shiv Sena. It is depleted, but it is not completely decimated. That, I think, really is the core of these findings. There will still be that 50% vote, Sudhir Suryavanshi, that will stay with the Shiv Sena. However, it will get fragmented now. So you've got a little bit taken away by Eknath Shinde and you've got a little bit taken away by the BJP. But it's not as if the Marathi voter has completely disowned the Shiv Sena. Thackerays still have that little core vote still left. Whereas last time I think they had about 75 to 80% of the Marathi vote. This time about 50% would be left.
No, see, last time what happened, 2017, apart from Marathi, Uddhav Thackeray, because of his Mumbai campaign, he was part of central government, state government. So Hindutva was also very much there.
Yeah.
So Hindutva vote bank also added to the Thackeray. This time, Hindutva vote bank has completely disowned him and went to the BJP. Plus South Indian, there were many South Indian, they used to like the Thackerays also. They voted in 2017. But because of this Annamalai controversy, I think South Indian has, gone it one side to the BJP.
It's funny how these things work in various ways. You think that 1 plus 1 is going to be equal to 2. So if you've got 28% plus 7% brought together with Uddhav Thackeray and Raj Thackeray, it's going to go to 34%, but it doesn't work like that because some people also look for a way out. I want to talk again a little bit about this voter turnout. Anish Gawande and Ali Khan Daruwala here with us. What do you make of this voter turnout, Anish Gawande? Because already you have leaders of your party. Rohit Pawar has already said, why has it taken so long for this final voter turnout to be given? It's about 52%, a shade less than 53%. Still a very healthy turnout. Are you smelling something fishy over there, the fact that we've got the final voter turnout just this morning?
Firstly, Vasta and Padmaja, good morning. Thank you for having me here. I don't think we should start calling things fishy just this early in the morning, but I will tell you this, right, that this was a spectacularly mismanaged election. Across the state, across polling booths, you had individuals who did not have the ability to find their names on voter lists online because the websites had crashed. Senior citizens had to find their names in sort of thousands of pages long voter rolls, and many went home without voting. So that voter turnout not being high enough.
You might not be calling it fishy early in the morning. Rohit Pawar called it fishy very early on in the morning. At 8:30 in the morning, he said the counting of votes will begin, yet the Election Commission has not officially announced the voter turnout. It's the first time we are witnessing such conduct. Perhaps they are deliberately avoiding the announcement of this percentage to adjust the math at the right time. So he was already seeing that some adjustment of the math is happening.
And Mr. Suryavanshi tweeted something very interesting in the morning, Padmaja. He said paper checking nahi hui, lekin result aa gaya. So, I found that tweet quite interesting. But Anish, please go on.
No, I was going to say, listen, you're picking up on one part of Rohit Dada's statement, but the other part of his statement was that in PCMC, booths have purposely been placed far away to discourage voters from going out and voting, right? So this is not about...
बताइए अली खान दारूवाला, why are you doing all this? ये पेपर चेकिंग शुरू हो गई है एंड उसके पहले ही पता चल रहा है कि कुछ गड़बड़ी की गई है. पेपर लीक हो गया क्या? Ali Khan Daruwala.
Padmaja, good morning. Padmaja, my name is Ali Daruwala, and the thing over here is the election is very significant in Maharashtra because it is not shift, it is not the ink issue, it is not this blame game over here. The main issue which Maharashtra has witnessed today is the Thackerays. The Hindutva ka Thackerays, which the Thackerays Parivar used to say, was with
So we'll talk about the Thackerays in a bit. First, tell us about this voter turnout.
BJP.
And people are little unhappy. Like Anish Gawande said, it is spectacularly mismanaged. Some people, the Shiv Sena, UBT is saying people could not find their names in the voter rolls. Some said that their, booths were randomly changed and they had to be shuttled from one place to the other. Then there was that ink controversy, and finally there's this voter turnout. Ali Daruwala.
And there is actually a probe that has been, announced in the indelible ink controversy, Padmaja, which I think, it's too late to do that because the voting has already happened.
Yeah, over here, Padmaja, I'll try to bring to your notice. Over here, the delimitation and the cutting of wards and formation of new wards. Over here, the shifting, they have done their level best. The officers have gone door to door, bell to bell, they have rung to get the voters over there. And this time, as they are saying, they are finding reasons to pinpoint their blame. But I can assure you over here, the turnout of this voters list not being there, the list is hardly minuscule, not even 1 or 2%. Yes, it did happen. I will not say it did not happen, but it is not alarming as though the names are missing and like what happened at the Lok Sabha election. It has not happened anything of that sort. Yeah, wards have been cut. The limitations as per the Janganna has been announced, and you can see it's the first time it is the 50% that ladies have taken part into it, and with that the shifting of the wards may have affected, but not to that extent.
And a lot of this, since we keep talking about this consolidated vote, Vasudha, the fact is that with so much redevelopment happening across Mumbai, the whole idea of one area belonging to only one community, that has changed dramatically.
Absolutely.
So if you had the old Marathi areas, there are people, that slum redevelopment has happened. So a part of that land, other people have come in and settled. So one half will be the old Marathi voter, and then you have people from outside also there. So it's not like Dadar is only a Shiv Sena bastion. There are other voters.
I think, Padmaja, the delimitation has also led to the delay in elections, and there are these Samajwadi Party legislators who have been pointing out to the delays in these elections, which is also leading to lack of development in the city specifically. We know that COVID happened and the delimitation happened, and then this whole body BMC was brought under an administrative.
One also wonders if there have been so many elections, Mayur Parikh, in the last 1.5 years. So end of 2024, you had the assembly elections, and already you had the Zilla elections. Now you have this election. Whether this decreased voter turnout, and a quick update right now, by the way, MNS is showing as 3 seats, BJP at 27, Shiv Sena UBT at 25, Shiv Sena at 10, and MNS at 3. That's the number that we have from the BMC right now of the 69 trends that we've got so far. Congress also has got 3 seats in these initial trends. Could there be a little bit of voter fatigue as well? And women who always come out in large numbers, women who earlier were, very strongly with Uddhav Thackere, with Balasaheb Thackere, have shifted to the BJP in recent past. Their voting percentage has also gone down. Little bit of voter fatigue setting in. Mayur Parikh?
But the manifestos also had so much for women, incling 50% discount for bus travel, all of that.
Yeah, and now people have realized that this is the voter bloc that essentially is going to be loyal, is going to be, at the voter booth. They are going to ensure that their voice is heard because they have very specific concerns, and it's a good story for all of us.
Yes,
that political parties are reaching out. But was there a voter fatigue, Mayur Parikh?
Well, I think it will be unfair to compare a recent 2.5% voting drop linked with the previous 2 elections, that so many elections are taking place in some 6 to 8 months of gap. But certainly there was a problem yesterday. Problem with voter list, which is the fact. I myself been visiting at several places in the morning, 7 o'clock, prior to 30 minutes of starting the polling. I was at the polling booth, and I could see that many morning walkers were going back to their home, rushing back to their home to find out the purchase which BMC employees didn't distribute it properly. There were so many complaints. You check out on my Twitter, I have tweeted a video of a person complaining that he has casted his vote, but he is not marked with the ink.
Ali Darwala,
Made the complaint to the
here are independent observers who are pointing out problems.
And Mr. Darwala, these are very serious complaints because, you know, if only conscious voters are allowed to vote and only interested voters are allowed to vote, that means that there is some failure of democracy, isn't it? Because everybody should be at least, you know, in some ways persuaded to be voting on these lines.
Certainly,
No,
yes.
over here I don't agree with you. I'll tell you one thing. The question is to me, Mr. Parekh, over here. See, I don't agree even one bit. 15 days, 20 days, people are out on the ground trying to work out. Why we always fix the blame on the government officers? Why don't you think it is our responsibility? I saw in my house, my wife for last 15, 20 days, she went on the internet, she tried to locate how we can vote, where we can vote, where our children's name is. We need to go and do. And this 51, 52% you are saying, I think, if I'm not wrong, till 4 o'clock, it was only 31% people set out of their house to vote. This is really alarming. This is sad over here. And then I feel we don't have the right to complain if we do not step out and we get the right candidate, because municipal corporation is the basic thing which affects you, me, our office, our place of work. And if we are not going to go out and vote and say 49%, 50%, then this is really very sad. We cannot
turn up to vote. I think we must take on board the complaints that are coming from concerned citizens. If you have a Mayur Parikh, if you have a Sudhir Suryavanshi, if you have people who were on the ground voting yesterday saying that we did face problems, perhaps for next time these complaints should be taken on board and fixed. It's not like everyone has an ulterior motive over there. Very quickly, Mayur Parikh, please make your point, because we need to go across to Amitabh Tiwari to just get a quick idea of these initial numbers that we have so far. Yes.
Add over here. Although we have seen the drop of around 2% voting, but the number of the votes polled is more than the previous election, and this is because the number of the voters have increased.
Okay, that's an important observation. In absolute numbers, the number of people who have voted has gone up. Amitabh Tiwari, what do you make of these initial trends? Mahayuti in the BMC is at 41, MVA is at 28, and others are at 4 right now, which includes the Congress, AIMM, everyone else.
And also, Mr. Tiwari, tell us, when do you think the results would be clearer? Because this clearly is not like assembly elections or Lok Sabha elections. It's going to take a long time. What is the process like, especially, and till when should we wait to actually decide who the boss of Mumbai is?
See, if you see, only 24,000 votes per ward have been polled this year, in this election. However, I have heard that they are taking on lots of 46 seats, so 46 seats at one time, and then the next 46 in Mumbai. It's also a very seesaw election. If you recall, in 2017, out of the 227 wards, on 53 wards, the victory margin was less than 1,000 votes. So it's perhaps going to be a long day, largely in BMC and the Sambhaji Nagar, because the trends which you are showing, I think only in these two places there is some fight which has been put up by the opposition. Otherwise, in most of the other municipal corporations, the BJP or the Shiv Sena alliance seems to have taken the lead. In 2017, out of the 27 wards, because at that time there were only 27 municipal corporations, 15 were won by the BJP, 5 by Shiv Sena, 5 by Congress, and 1 by NCP and 1 by BBA. So that number also we have to see. Out of these 29, how many wards or how many municipal corporations a party wins. It seems to be a fairly close battle compared to the exit polls as of now in the BMC, and we have to wait and see. On
right, so Sudhir Suryavanshi, do you see this battle as becoming closer than expected? Because both assembly elections and of course the Lok Sabha elections, we saw clear mandates on, two different sides. So what exactly do you think the outcomes could look like here?
No, as the exit poll has shown the one side, battle, but I don't think so, because as per my report and wherever I travel, this time there was a consolidation of Marathi voter. but I travel mostly in the Marathi dominated areas. So I was very concerned about, not concerned, but not really, right about other areas like which are dominated by North India, Gujaratis and Marathi. If the Marathi voter also considered there, then there are, very close contest between the Mahayuti and the Mahavikas Agadi, particularly Thackere brothers and Shiv Sena BJP. And this time, Raj Thackere definitely have galvanized his cadre by visiting the Shakas. Uddhav Thackere visited Shakas. But some people feel that they started very late. They should have been done because, they knew that they are going to come together for the BMC election. They should have started early. They started very late. So therefore, they may lose it or they may lag behind because of.
But Mr. Suryavanshi, my question to you, also something I have been wanting to ask you, is the fact that this time we saw the Thackere brothers even talk about the legacy of their grandfather Prabodhankar Thackere, and they brought in the Maharashtra, Samyukt Maharashtra movement, and they made it clear that this is the final voting for Marathi voters. Now, clearly that was not necessary. This Astitva Asmita battle, do you think this also in some ways sent out a message of fear, and do you think that could have worked?
See, Shiv Sena was born for the Marathi. Manoj, if you remember, the Balasaheb Thackere and his father, Prabodhankar Thackere, has given the Shiv Sena as a name, and it was founded at the Shivaji Park, which is called the Shiv Tirtha. Later on, the Marathi, Balasaheb Thackere also come to know and realize that only focusing on Marathi voters, they were not able to get a power in the state. Because if you step out from the Mumbai or MMR region, everybody is Marathi there, so Marathi card will not work out. Therefore, he chose a different path, that was the Hindutva path. And the Village Parle election, if you remember, that was a landmark or one kind of big thing for his life to change the entire political course from the Marathi towards the Hindutva. Right. And he won that election. That was very close election, that was very high voltage election. In that election, he used Hindutva very strongly, as we today have many people use it, and he lost his voting right also in that election because of that election. So he won. So after that Village Parle election, state assembly by election, he changed the path. But now the BJP is the party which has more, offer to the Hindutva than the Thackere brothers.
Yes.
So what is left for them in the play?
So you put together that entire combination of Hindutva, of development, of your core, non-Marathi voter, and get a little bit of Marathi votes from the Shiv Sena as well. That seems to be the combination that Eknath Shinde and the BJP have worked for. But do you, Amitabh Tiwari, think this is going to be closer than what was predicted yesterday in the exit polls? The numbers that we have so far, and that's the caveat, so far seems to suggest, could it be closer or this is too early on? Amitabh Tiwari, I think, is smiling because he's possibly thinking that now we are hedging our bets and we are laying the ground, so just in case there is, a 180-degree turn by the evening, we are like laying the ground very slowly and surely. Amitabh Tiwari, could it be?
Somebody said it's going to be clear only by 5 p.m., which means Padmaja, it's going to be a long day with a lot of speculation.
Yeah. So 1 hour, it's going to take perhaps 3 to 4 wards that they are doing. So it's going to like 1 hour, so about 5 hours spread out.
Yeah.
Yes, Amitabh Tiwari.
Yeah. So early trends, of course, and we don't know whether these are EVM or wards or postal ballots or a mixture. See, one thing we have to understand that historically no party has got a simple majority in the BMC. That has happened only twice earlier. Once Janata Party and the other was Congress in 1992. So it has been fairly close elections always. But I think a comfortable majority for the Mahayuti is possible, largely because of the fact that the demography of the BMC has been changing over the years, and the campaign and the strategy which the Thackere brothers followed seems to have alienated other sections of voters. Because as you were mentioning, in BJP's campaign strategy, there is a message for each segment of voter, starting from gender, which is females, the Ladli Bahin Yojana and a slew of schemes announced in the BMC manifesto. Then you have the overall larger Hindutva card to consolidate various caste groups under the ladder of or under the umbrella of Hindutva. Then you had specific messages for youth.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you, but we already have the reactions coming in even as counting is underway. The Congress, by all exit polls, was not given a very good, showing. It wasn't going to have a very good showing according to all the exit polls, and almost like a preemptive strike, you have Rahul Gandhi now attacking the Election Commission Rahul Gandhi there saying that
The Election Commission is gaslighting citizens and how trust has collapsed in our democracy. He, in fact, has said vote chori is an anti-national act, something that he keeps claiming, and he has basically lashed out at the Election Commission.
And it's that entire indelible ink,
Yes.
that whole controversy
And the use
that
of
started
markers.
yesterday. Correct. So 2012 is when the use of markers had been brought in this election, and the State Election Commissioner, he clarified yesterday, he was on record to say that we will verify if the quantity of chemicals, especially silver nitrate, which is crucial for the mark lasting 15 days, is as per the norms. People were asking, why is it coming off so easily? So the several people who did a reality check and quoting that. Ali Daruwala, if you want to quickly respond to this. Attack by Rahul Gandhi saying that Election Commission gaslighting citizens is how trust has collapsed in our democracy.
Correct. Rahul Gandhi's statement, vote chori without proof, has gone so viral because we had 45 days of complaint which could be launched in Bihar. At the time of Bihar election, they said vote chori is rampant. So we can over here officially say on your channel that in 45 days we had a landslide victory in Bihar. Not a single complaint of vote chori was registered. So
But talk about yesterday, talk about this indelible ink. Let's forget Bihar now. Bihar, the time for appeals is over, 45 days have gone. Talk about yesterday.
It is the same ink which is used in the pen over here, and it has come in 2011, 2012. 4 instances it has been used where the Congress has won. So you tell me one thing, when we have got good results coming over here, they have been neck to neck with us. You mean to say vote chori hui hai? You mean to say ink is questionable?
नहीं, ये वो बोल रहे हैं क्योंकि इलेक्शन कमीशन ने कल बोला है we don't have ink procurement information at the moment. That's what the election commission has said yesterday.
And
Procurement किधर से आया अभी हमें पता नहीं है.
And Mr. Daruwala, Shiv Sena, UBT and Congress may not have gone together for these polls, but when it comes to this accusation, both of them are on the same page.
Correct. What I'm asking over here, if the trends change by 2 o'clock and if they are winning, will they still question this ink? Let us know that now.
Yes, they say we question even when we are losing, even when we are winning.
How they can take a U-turn over here. These people have been lying and they want something to pin their blame on, and that is this time it is the ink. Last time it was
I don't know if in order to prove the election commission right, you are willing to wish victory onto the Congress and the Shiv Sena UBT, because at least one of them will be vindicated. What do you make of this, Sudhir Suryavanshi? At least the Congress and the Thackerays are on one page. Yesterday, Uddhav Thackeray done a press conference. Raj Thackeray spoke after voting about how this ink is, this whole business looks fishy. Sudhir Suryavanshi.
But Eknath Shinde, the Deputy Chief Minister, came out and he did this performative act कि कुछ नहीं, कुछ गड़बड़ नहीं है. But yes, the election commission.
Devendra Fadnavis even showed. He said, देखिए मेरे हाथ में ink है, क्या आपको मिटा करके दिखा सकते हैं? Soon after polling, he himself showed his finger. But it is said that nail polish removal or acetone is needed. Devendra Fadnavis was just rubbing it with his finger. But go on, Sudhir Suryavanshi.
Yes, absolutely. After the voting, many people, those are expertise in the double voting or the bogus voting. They tried to remove the ink mark which was on the, nail and the finger. And they were very successful easily this time. And this trend started spreading in other, parties and other camps also. And then a reporter came to know. So the reporter started, do some demo, and they were very successful. They put many videos surfaced on the social media. Everybody doing the demo of how they can easily erase or wipe out the.
Yeah, I think what was happening is, according to the rules, Vasudha, you're supposed to put that marker. The marker is supposed to be there since 2012. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mayur Parikh, but you're supposed to put that marker 4 times.
Yes.
Apparently, in a lot of booths, that wasn't done.
Happening, yeah.
People were just putting it once, and which is why, while some people could rub it off if it's not been done in the correct fashion, in other booths, it stayed. Even if people try to.
And you wait for it to dry, is it? And then probably then you try to.
So there was a manner in which it was supposed to be done, and why this is also significant is because this is for the first time that the Election Commission had put out a list of so-called double voters.
Yes.
With a star against their name, just to ensure that even if their name appears twice, they are not able to vote twice.
Okay.
So if there are such concerns and somebody is able to rub off their ink, Mayur Parikh, then there is a little bit of doubt in people's minds if those so-called double voters whose names are there twice can rub it off and go and vote again.
Yeah, so let me share an experience, my experience which I myself witnessed yesterday. in ward number 1 in the Vibgyor school at the booth which was on ground floor. A voter came and he saw me the finger and said, "ये देखो मैंने वोट दे दिया है, मेरा पर्ची है and there is no mark on my finger." When I went inside, there were more 4 people stating that हमारे नाम से तो कोई वोटिंग करके चला गया. I filmed them, everyone, and I tagged this video to Election Commission. So yes, either there was a problem with the training of the staff, or there was a problem with the voter list, or there was a mismatch between online tool to verify the voter list and the physical copy which were given to the booth. The kiosk could have been seen very clearly at each and every part of the Mumbai, especially in ward number 1414, where we have witnessed several complaints. People were returning to their homes.
And whose area is this? This ward 14? Which party would be strong in this ward? Mayur Parikh?
Well, this is a very crucial election because BJP Rebel is also contesting from this ward, and this is BJP's stronghold, but it has a history of Congress stronghold.
Okay.
This time, the ticket which is not been given to the corporator, sitting corporator of BJP from the next ward, has shifted there and contesting as an.
Okay, Ali Daruwala, please answer this. ये तो कुछ तो गड़बड़ है दया. In a ward जहाँ पे election फंसा हुआ है, Mayur Parikh first hand says कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ी दिखाई दे रही थी. One voter is saying मेरा मार्क नहीं लगाया, another voter is saying कोई और हमारा वोट करके चला गया.
See, all this.
And this ward seems like a little bit of a dodgy ward for BJP by the looks of it.
Yeah, coming back to what you asked me, I'm not disputing one bit what Mr. Parikh said. He seems to have done a lot of hard work on the ground. But show me one instance where a voter has been caught trying to vote twice. It has not happened except for one Mumbai area where a Muslim-clad woman in burqa tried to do it, and even she was caught over here. There's come nothing on record. Had there been something, it would have been breaking headlines on your channel over here. It's the loose talks outside the polling.
Sir, this can't just be loose talk. He is giving you first-hand lived experience. Sudhi Suryavanshi also wants to come in. Mayur Parikh will respond to you. They're giving you lived experiences. Sudhi Suryavanshi wanted to make an intervention.
No, bogus voting did happen. You can't claim bogus voting didn't happen in Pimpri Chinchwad. Many areas it happened where the BJP and the NCP Ajit Pawar parties were there, and they caught it many people there, and many people were also caught it distributing the money. There was also many people there.
Money is different. He is saying nobody can actually cast their vote twice. He's saying this is only fear mongering.
If you allow me.
No, it was.
There's the indelible ink controversy, there is the voter list controversy, and of course the deletions one, and the state website not really going up on time. Amitabh Tiwari, sir, I mean, you followed Mumbai for a long time. Do you think that the united opposition on a rhetoric like this, on claims, accusations like this, which are very serious, do you think they will have any resonance with people, and especially with the opposition's campaign? If it loses, what happens?
No, I don't think these are actually matter to the people on the ground, because they are largely voting either on issues or on the leadership, which is personality contest this time between the Thackerays and Devendra Fadnavis. See, bogus voting, double voting, all these issues are there in most of the elections. Whichever party is in power or whichever candidate is strongest is able to effectively employ these tactics, whether be it any party which has been power in the past. The question is whether these 4 voters which Mayur Bhai has said, or is it material enough to change the result of a particular ward or change the result of the overall BMC. I think I agree with BJP spokesperson sir on this fact that how many people actually double voted. That is the key.
And the BJP has reacted. The BJP's first reaction to Rahul Gandhi is in. You've had party spokesperson Shahzad Poonawala say Bahana Brigade is back, accepting defeat before counting ends. Rahul back to doing what he does best, discredit, distort and disinform. Khandani Chor now regurgitating claims of Thackerays. By the way, what came out of allegations Rahul made on Bihar elections, vote chori. So yes, that is their standard defense. Yes, please complete your point, Amitabh Tiwari. This is the BJP's first reaction. Bahana Brigade this hai.
People who want to double vote would double vote even with the ink which is placed in normal elections. So this is what happens when a delay of elections takes place. Political leaders, people, politicians, everybody forgot that actually this has been a practice which has been continuing since 2011. So I would say largely fear mongering.
But Sudhir Suryavanshi, the fact that, the opposition is now being called a brigade of excuses, do you think that this is something that's going to stick? Because we can't keep sending parties to the drawing board again and again. If they lose, do you think that they will really blame the EC and the ruling party?
See, entirely blaming to Election Commission will not be work for them. They also need to introspect themselves and work, and go back to their drawing book to redesign their strategy. Just blaming or just finding excuses will not be, enough to fight and win the election next time. So whatever will happen in this election, they have to go to the drawing board.
Exactly, and something as simple as this, it's not as if 2026 result, Amitabh Tiwari, is the first jolt. The Shiv Sena has actually ceded ground to the BJP election after election. When it comes to the BMC, if you had suddenly the BJP making a huge jump between 2012 and 2017, who will you blame for that?
Absolutely.
No, essentially that's what Sudhir Bhai is also saying. After a loss, you have to introspect. But your introspection, if the number one reason is that you lost because of the Election Commission of India rigging or a vote chori or a vote theft, then you will not be able to introspect properly and do a proper course correction, and that's what.
Right. Let me give a quick piece of data as well, because Mayur Parikh wants to come in on this. A quick piece of data you had when it comes to the results between 2012 and 2017. The BJP went up from 31 to 82 in the BMC. The Congress came down from 52 to 31. NCP came down from 13 to 9, and Manse came down from 28 to 7. So that's how the result has changed in the previous elections. So just blaming it from 2017 to 2026 and dragging in the EC, I don't know how practical that's going to be. Mayur.
And Padmaja, I think, what they've done is BJP has systematically disregarded Uddhav Thackerays' position as the Hindutva inheritor, right? And now there's also this attempt to tell him that you're not the custodian of Marathi, right? It's the BJP that's going to do.
Helped that effort also.
Absolutely. So if you alliance with the, with Congress also in some ways added to that.
No, and this entire, and for good reason.
And the positions that he took on several issues, right?
Correct. So, I mean, the most recent was, you remember the Thiruparankundaram controversy.
Yes.
We were discussing it, and it was shocking that when the impeachment motion was moved against the Madras High Court judge, Justice Swaminathan, of all the people, you had Samajwadi Party, you had Congress, that is understandable. What was Arvind Sawant doing there? I mean, here was an entire issue about the lighting of a traditional deepam. It is as core Hindutva as it gets in Tamil Nadu. And then you have a Shiv Sena MP asking for the impeachment of a judge because he allowed Hindus to light a lamp. And then you say, why has that mantle of Hindu Hriday Samrat gone away from Shiv Sena? What do you expect? If you are going to ask for impeachment for allowing Hindus to light a deepam in Tamil Nadu, which Hindu will say that you are Hindu Hriday Samrat? But sorry, we went off a bit of a tangent over there.
You would call it a battle of survival. So I do feel that UBT battle of survival has been going on for several months now, several years now. Mayur Parikh, do you think that will finally, come to a closure this election, because it's going to be one way or the other way? Because if UBT wins Mumbai, then basically the Thackerays name survives, and if he doesn't, then of course he goes back to the drawing board.
Well, sometimes I feel like, the way this alliance take place, they think like that this is a bank balances, and if we just club this bank balances, our balance will increase. But it is never like so, my dear. The people have their mindset. They have their opinion. We are dealing with an educated people. Mumbai has got the highest literacy rates. And now if you are doing a coalition with the party where Balasaheb Thackere openly used to say that I will shut down my Shiv Sena if I had to do an alliance with the Congress party, and his son, after passing Balasaheb Thackere, does an alliance with the Congress, how that will digest to the original Shiv Sainiks? That is a problem.
Absolutely. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, the first time the Shiv Sena came to power in the BMC is on the back of a very vitriolic campaign after the Bhiwandi riots.
Yeah.
The Bhiwandi riots happened, and 1 year after that, when Balasaheb actually did a rejig of his entire campaign, which used to be against South Indians, suddenly it was the Muslim population of Mumbai which was on his target. You know, he had even spoken of them as cancer. He said Muslims are a cancer in Mumbai, and he swept to power. I'm sorry to interrupt you because we have Shehzad Poonawala joining us now. Shehzad Poonawala, Rahul Gandhi is saying vote chori ho rahi hai. This is a fraud on the voters, and look what you're doing. You are wiping away ink from the fingers of voters. Kal धांधली हुई है. Shehzad Poonawala.
Well, if you can get my video also apart from my audio, I would just like to say that the Bahana Brigade is back. The Bahana Brigade is back, and this is the same textbook of Rahul Gandhi that distort, disillusion creation, remain in denial, and spread disinformation. First of all, it has been clear that this ink is the same ink that has been used from 2011, 2012 onwards. It is not a new ink that is being used. Secondly, the ink, even if it is removed, it's not. The clip that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has posted, you can see some part of the ink. But even if it is fully removed, you cannot vote twice. It is impossible. How many of these people who so-called removed the ink have gone and voted twice? So this is the same thing. Make allegations, run away. Rahul is echoing the voice of Thackerays. By the way, Rahul Gandhi made the same allegations in Bihar. What did he do in Bihar? 45 days are over from the counting. Did he provide any evidence?
Now, yesterday we saw Uddhav Thackeray and Raj Thackeray also say the same thing. So does that make it far more constructive, or do you think all of this is just, just fear-mongering?
Shehzad Poonawala.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you just repeat it?
I was asking you, the united opposition seems to be united yet again on this issue, because this issue was first raised by the Thackeray brothers, and today Rahul Gandhi is also, saying the same thing, although they fought elections separately.
So I am telling you from day one, I was saying that all of these people, they may appear to fight separately, but Rahul Gandhi is very much with Raj Thackeray and with Uddhav Thackeray, and therefore the moment now the results are being counted, he has started echoing the line of Raj Thackeray and Uddhav Thackeray. I would be surprised, Padmaja, by 7-8 o'clock, Rahul, Raj and Uddhav may do some press conference together also. They can do that. But they are united in defeat, they are united in delusion, they are united
defeat, they are united in delusion, they are united in denial. The fact of the matter is that Bihar, they made the same allegation. Padmaja, 45 days are over, but not a single complaint has been filed in the High Court that there has been a vote chori in Bihar.
But the fact also remains that the state election commission, the state election commission has agreed to order an inquiry into the charges of indelible ink. That inquiry is agreed to by the State Election Commission.
It must. Why not? Because Padmaja, removing the ink by whatever mechanism, by the way, is an illegal act. It's an offense. So there has to be an inquiry that who is removing the ink. Even if there is a 1% chance that this ink can be removed, this 2011 ink can be removed, the matter is that can the person removing the ink vote again? Let's not miss the woods for the trees. The fact is that can you vote twice? No. You remove the ink, don't remove the ink. Whether it is possible, not possible, you cannot vote twice. This is a matter of fact. And therefore, Padmaja, let the state commission do what it has to do. But I am saying Rahul Gandhi, Bihar में जो allegation लगाया, उसका तो प्रमाण दे दो.
So reactions coming in
Padmaja जी, आप invite कर दो राहुल गांधी को. I am sitting here.
Reactions coming in thick and fast, Vasudha. So the entire BJP brigade is mobilized now, and Rahul Gandhi is at the receiving end, even as only 1 hour has passed into counting. Anti-national party who gets backing from Pakistan is searching for a scapegoat, looking at imminent defeat in BMC elections. Every season, the Parivarwadi, to escape scrutiny, come up with one or the other allegation, which turns out to be a damn squid in court of law and in court of public opinion. BMC चुनाव में सामने करारी हार देखकर परिवारवादी अपने कार्यकर्ताओं के सवालों से भागने के लिए, that is what another leader, another spokesperson of the BJP is also now saying. So it's basically now Rahul Gandhi versus all of BJP. Shiv Sena though is quite quiet. It's quite quiet.
And then they're all attacking the Congress party that basically did not even find enough candidates for its ally VBA. But Shehzad, this clearly seems to be a concerted attack on Rahul Gandhi. And what is your expectation from today's results?
Look, first of all, this is not a concerted attack on Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi is irrelevant in the politics of India and particularly in the politics of Maharashtra and Mumbai. So having said that, this is an attack on those who are attacking the constitutional institutions. Just yesterday, Padmaja and I were on the 9 p.m. debate. We have discussed how Mamata Banerjee interfered in the process of law. There, Rahul Gandhi had no questions on the vote chori or on the democracy chori or Samvidhan chori. There he was quiet. Mr. Adhiranjan Chaudhary says that Mamata Banerjee does vote dakati. He is quiet. And here, when there is no proof, there is no evidence, he makes these allegations, and rightly said, he's doing it because he has to save his parivar. Just an interesting fact, the Congress party actually started in Pune and Mumbai. The first session of Congress in 1885 was supposed to be held in Pune, then it was last minute because of cholera outbreak held in Mumbai, Gwalior tank. The party which has started from Pune and Mumbai has now gone into irrelevance in Pune, Mumbai, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi is in Berlin and Hanoi, and then he has the gumption to tweet this because he has to save himself from accountability. This is accountability से अपने आप को बचाओ, बहाना बनाओ, election commission को शिकार बनाओ, sometimes EVM, SIR, now ink. Then they will blame Janta also. They might blame media also.